Good afternoon. We're going to go over this week's trades in this weekly recap video. Before I get into that, I end up finishing the week with 16 wins and 5 losses with a win rate of 76.19% for the week, which isn't too bad. I like to strive for 80% every week, and actually it was 80% every day until Friday. Friday was the day that put me under 80% for the week, so I had 2 losses yesterday, so it is what it is. Not a lot of big runners this week. The week was kind of choppy, kind of sideways action. So if you're not in the room, the link to the room is in the description of the video. Also, you can find it in the bio section of my Twitter and StockTwits account. So you can join the room that way. You can also go on my Twitter page and you can see the timestamps for all the calls, so you can go back and go through it and verify that the calls were actually made at those specific times. So with that started, I'll start with Apple, even though I have SPY pulled up. But first trade of the week was Apple, which was on the 7th, not the 9th, which is right here. Now I grabbed Apple calls, 126 calls, rated open at 9:35. As you can see, this was Friday. I'll blow it up. Just see those 2 days. And I was looking, okay, if it gets over, this 122.50 area, I definitely would like it, but I would definitely rather see it over the pre-market high of 123. So when I did get over 123, that's when I ended up grabbing the 126 calls at 79 cents, and they went to $1.19 if you held the entire way through. I actually got it at 9:35, so it was right, and this would have been the most ideal, but what I've been doing lately is I've been waiting the first 10 minutes or so for the first candle, because there's been a lot of fake outs, even though I did get caught in some fake outs this week. But I did grab it right here going over this 10-minute candle. So ideally it would have been great to grab at 123, but I did grab it right in here, I think. So next one was SPY 368 puts. Let's see, I got those at 9:55. Now where is that? Right there. Now, as you can see on Friday, it struggled in this 369 area. It gapped up. This is also, Sunday, and the when futures are running, SPY does run with futures overnight. So if the ES futures is running, is operational, SPY will be too. So that did run. Gap up, and it did reject that area pretty harshly. As you can see, it dropped right here. Then it came back up. It didn't really have much momentum like Apple did, so it started to have like a curling top, I should say. And I did grab it right at 9:55, which is probably right here, right in this red candle, right? Because when it, let me just blow it up just a little more so you can see. When it got to this 369 and it started to go up and it rejected, this candle started to come back and wick right above the 369 area. What was the high? 369.44. But I was looking at it, from before on Friday, 369. Oh. And it just kept rejecting. So I was looking for the first sign of weakness in this 369 area. And when I saw it starting to pull back, I did grab the puts right there. So I grabbed 368 puts at 44 cents, and it just didn't drop much right there, close to VWAP, and it went from 44 cents to 56 cents. So then I ended up grabbing SPX calls. I do have a play blacked out on let's see, on Monday, and I think that is that's the Home Depot one I got going. So I wasn't sure what that play was. I just had to double check. Let me get the thing back up so I can see what I'm seeing. But yeah, then I ended up grabbing SPX 36.95 calls at 225, which is right here, 225. and they went from 80 cents to $1.05. Now I don't know why I didn't grab SPY right here. I mean, I probably I have no idea why I didn't grab it. Probably wasn't watching it or something. But anyways, I did grab the SPX. Where's it? 1141. Yeah, I was probably researching Home Depot when this was happening, because I grabbed Home Depot at 1141, and I was researching Home Depot when this was going on. So that's probably why I missed that. And yeah, so 225. I grabbed the 36.95 calls at 80 cents, and they ended up going from, which was a push through VWAP, not VWAP, 200 EMA. 225. Where is it? 225. Yeah, it was a push through the 200 EMA. That's where I grabbed it, right in here. And she popped up a little bit. She came back down and ran again. But 80 cents to $1.05. I mean, not the greatest. I mean, just small wins for that day. Just, it's been pretty much the theme of the week. Just not much really. I mean, that would have been a good play. I think that was just in the Home Depot, watching Home Depot. Now Tuesday, I ended up having BABA. Had the 277.50 calls. Let's see, on the 8th. Where is the 8th? Right there. This was Friday. This was Monday. Tuesday's right here. I always refer, like I always say, I always refer to the previous day, because it does give you a lot of clues to what's going to happen. So I grabbed the 277.50 calls at 77 cents at 9:35. Right at open. As soon as I got over pre-market high, I think I got it right in this area. I got it in the first 10-minute candle, which I've been trying to avoid not to do, but sometimes the biggest moves are in those first 10-15-minute candles. So I got in quickly and got out quickly. 77 cents to $1.04 in that push up. Then I ended up grabbing BA puts. Let's see, I grabbed a 225 puts at 9.51. As you can see also right here, BA is just struggling in this 240 area, 242. I grabbed it right, is this the 8th? Yep. Now, because it's struggling in this area and you have like support right here, which is turning into resistance right here, that's why it's always good to look at the previous day's actions. When it started rejecting that and came back down, I was waiting for confirmation to get underneath this first 10-minute candle. So I grabbed the BA 225 puts at 84 cents, and then went to $1.44 in this push down. So that was a nice clean play. It wasn't as bad as some of the other ones, but they had a little more room. It's just been like, I mean, look at the rest of the day. It's just sideways action. It's been most of the week. It's been like this. So then I had Facebook calls, which was the first loss of the week. I had it on the right here. I mean, Facebook is just struggling in the 288 area, but it's had a lot of news this week too. So a lot of with antitrust issues and other things like that. And every time they come up with antitrust issues or governments threatening to break them up, it dips really quickly and it just fully recovers really fast. So that's it. To me, I think look at that as a buying opportunity to get in, and we did that later in the week. I think on Thursday or something. I don't know, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I had 295 calls on Facebook at 10:07, which was right at 10:07, right in here. I grabbed it. 10:07. Yeah, I grabbed it in this candle, and I got it at 92 cents. I sold some at 98. Then it dropped back down, and I kind of regret that. I stopped myself out when it broke down below here. I just wasn't sure if it was gonna keep going and drop. I was also looking, it could go down to 280, and that could be a pretty big drop for Facebook, and I don't know if it would have recovered. So everything's in hindsight 2020. So when it failed to push forward and it broke lower day, I ended up getting out, and it did recover, and so it was a unnecessary loss, but it is what it is. So I mean, I didn't lose fully on it. I did sell some for small gains, but the overall position was red. So that was the first one for loss for the week. Then I had QCOM. I had QCOM puts on the 8th. Where are you? The 8th, right there. Now QCOM I had at 1022, which was right here when it broke down. I mean, it's struggling in this area. At 158, and as you can see right here, I mean, obviously there was other plays. It dropped, it came back up. We tested the EMAs, the 20 and the 37, pushed through VWAP. I mean, I could have grabbed it right in here, but I wanted to make sure it got to the low of day and grabbed it there. So I grabbed the 152.50 puts at 62 cents, and then went to the 74 cents with the 200 EMA as a target. So it didn't quite make it, but it was still another small winner. And it's been the theme of the whole week. It's just nothing but small winners. So then I had Wednesday. I had which was a better day. I did have, let's see, I did swing overnight the SPY 1211 puts, so I grabbed them at 1 o'clock on the 8th. So I mean, SPY just had this insane run, and at 1 o'clock I grabbed it right 1 o'clock right in here. Let me see, 1 o'clock right here, right in here I grabbed it. I didn't get stopped out. That was for Friday, so I stayed in it thinking, you know, we're gonna have a nice little drop. I mean, we get a big ascending wedge right here on the hourly, so you know they're usually bearish. So I was gonna stick with the hourly plan and just say, okay, we'll wait for an overnight drop. So I did have the 366 put to 82 cents. Now I meant to grab Wednesday the 9th, and I had Fridays up because I was probably looking at a stock. And if you're on TOS, if you're looking at like Facebook for instance, it goes to Friday's expiration day, and if you switch back to SPY, it doesn't go to the closest one, it goes to Friday because you're looking at a Friday's option. So that's why it was pulled up. I'm not sure if it was Facebook I was looking at, but that is why I ended up grabbing Friday by mistake, and I didn't even realize it until somebody pointed out in the room that I grabbed Friday. But it was actually a blessing in disguise. So those 366 puts for a Friday went from 82 cents to 221, so they worked out really, really well. Then I also grabbed Apple calls. Let's see, is this the 9th? Yeah. I mean, Apple, I said it was going to break out if it got over this 125 area, and it did. It dipped in the morning, and it did break out over 125, so I grabbed the 126 calls at 67 cents, and then we went to $1.14 in this little push up. I mean, the hourly was just ready because, I mean, it got close to 125, got it there, and I was thinking, okay, pre-market got up to 125, which is right in here. And if it dipped in the morning and it ripped over 125, I would take it, and it's exactly what it did. So that worked out really, really well. Then I ended up having SPY puts again. This time I had the expiration day of Wednesdays. I had let's see, 370 puts at 63 cents at 10:37, which is right here, right in here, right when it broke down, because it was having like a little descending wedge right here, descending triangle, and it's a flat line right there, and it's pushing down. It's also, you know, acting as resistance right there when it was trying to come back up, and it couldn't. I grabbed it right underneath the 200 EMA when it broke these two candles right there for more downside. So and they were in the money, so I wasn't too worried about decay. I on the expiration days, I like to try to get at the money or in the money. I didn't even look at SPX. I mean, usually that early in the day before 11, they're pretty expensive and then too far out of the money. And if it chops slightly, it's gonna just destroy it. So I prefer to play SPY at the money or in the money at that time of day. And those went from 63 cents to $4.02, 500%. in that move right there. So I was definitely pleased with that. Let's see. Then I had Baidu puts. Wednesday was actually a pretty good day. Baidu puts, I had at 12.19, which is right here. No, 12.19, right in here. Okay, as you can see right here, it made a higher high, and the histogram is making a lower high, so it was showing bearish divergence right there. And so I was waiting for it to, I could have got it right there, but I prefer to wait for more confirmation right here at the 154.60 area when it breaks below these little support area. Once it broke below that, that's when I was interested. So I grabbed the 152 puts at 90 cents, and they went to $2.55 in that little drop if you held the entire way. So those worked out really well. Then I ended up grabbing SPX calls on that big drop, thinking that we were going to get a big end of the day reversal, and I timed it wrong. I got it at, what time did I grab it? I grabbed the 3,700 calls at $1 at 106, which is right here. Now it popped right in here on this green candle. This is when I grabbed it, and it pulled back right there, and I grabbed it right in here. And they went from, it was actually another loss I had, but I did end up selling some at $1.45 in this push right here. But I was hoping for a bigger push up into the moving averages, at least to the 20 or even the 200. But it got quickly rejected, and it just didn't work out. So it ended up being a loss, even though I did sell some at $1.45. But the position was barely red. I mean, it was only red for like, I don't know, 20. I think it was like $20, $30. It was a very trivial red, but overall the position was red, so I have to call it a loss. It's only right. Then I had Facebook calls, and I had it labeled as a overnight swing. And sometimes when I have the intentions of having an overnight swing, it just bounces. So make sure this is the 9th. Yeah, this is the 9th. This is the day I think that they were getting sued by the FTC or the FCC or one of those 3-letter government names, that they were getting sued. So when I had that big knife, I mean, like I said, every time they have, the government, threatening to break them up, antitrust issues, threatening to get sued by the government, it drops big and it recovers almost every single time. So when it knifed hard, I grabbed the 287.50 calls at 70 cents at 244, which was right here in this candle. And I had every intention of holding it overnight, but I was not expecting it to have a big push like it did. So that worked out faster than I was anticipating. So I ended up selling that day, not holding overnight. So they did go from 70 cents to $1.20. So you don't want to leave 50 cents on the table and risk overnight that it's gapping down and you're losing it. If you're up almost 100% on a position and you hope and you try to hold it overnight, wanting more gains, greed's just going to kill you. That's just get out, take your money, and just reposition yourself the next day. If it gaps up and you miss a run, who cares? Whatever. There's always more opportunities. There's no, doesn't cost you anything to take profits. So I wasn't willing to risk it. I don't know if anyone else in the room did, but did it even gap up? No. See, look, if you held overnight, you would have lost because it gapped down and it dropped. So that wouldn't have worked out too well. Now I did end up I did exactly do that. Reposition myself at Facebook is on Thursday. I grabbed Facebook calls again. I grabbed them at 9:58, which is right here. I mean, obviously we had it here. It gapped down. It dropped, and it broke this pre-market high right here at 276-ish. Let's see, 276.50 we'll say. I grabbed them at 9:58, which is in this candle right here. They went from 77 cents to $1.50 in this little push right there. It was a nice clean play. Then the next one I had, which was BABA, which I believe was my third loss for the week. Yeah, it was. Now I had BABA puts at 12.16 on the 10th, which is right there. 10.16. Oh yeah, I remember this. I had it right here. It popped up, you know, right here was consolidating, and this was pre-market high. So when it dropped, it opened towards open, and when it opened, it popped right back up to having resistance in this 264.50 area, and it started to come back down. So I was like, okay, I'll grab it right under VWAP, run it into the 37 EMA and the moving averages. I grabbed it. Then BABA just reversed. So it was a little quick bull flag and just quickly reversed on me, and it ended up being a loss. So I thought for sure it rejecting pre-market high in this whole 264-ish area that it was going to end up dropping down to pre-market lows, and it just didn't, and that was another loss. So then I ended up having SPY, which I barely turned green on. Let's see, on the 10th I had it at let's see, 10.52, and 370 calls at 10.52, which is right in here, right when it was breaking out. It was a false breakout right there. I was thinking, okay, we're going to break out and have a strong move into probably the 270, because we had a big drop the day before. I mean, obviously it's a bear flag right here. It did drop down and it popped up. So I was like, okay, it's consolidating in this area, and it's making a possible, you know, ascending triangle right here. If you draw it, you can see it right there. Yeah, right in there. But it didn't work out. I mean, it popped a little bit, so it went from 50 cents. I got it right in here, it dropped down, it popped back up, and because it was chopping that area, I just like, okay, as soon as it turns green, I'm getting out, and I get out at like 53 cents or something like that. I didn't want to chance being a loser, because it's been choppy all week, and it's been struggling in this area, and my luck, it wouldn't break out, and I'm glad I got out when I did, because it ended up dropping, and it didn't work out too well. But I did change my position. I did grab SPY puts at 12.55, which is right here. This is where I got faked out again, but it wasn't a complete loss. It wasn't a loss at all because it failed to break out, and it came back up, and I was thinking, okay, if you can't get over this 270, this 267.50 area, it's not breaking out, but it's not breaking down. It's either going to do one or two things. It's either going to break down or it's going to chop. So I got it right here, thinking we were going to break down and test the pre-market lows. It didn't. It popped back up, but as long as it stayed underneath this 367.50 area, that I was going to stay in it and let it work itself. And then it finally did drop, and as soon as it turned green and it made some profit, I got out, and I went to 70 cents to 89 cents in that little drop. So that's been pretty much the theme all week long. Just no strong moves in one direction. So then Friday I had my other two losses. Like I said, it was 80% until Friday. First trade of the day on Friday, which was also the first loss I had, was Roku. Now Roku, it's struggling in this area right here, this 327. Roku's just been on a crazy run lately. I grabbed the 310 puts at 347. I waited out the first 10-minute candle, and it made a big drop right here, thinking, okay, it's going to drop below this 320 area, and I grabbed it in this candle. I'll blow it up more so we can see it. I just wanted to show you the other higher day. But yeah, right when it started to have that big red candle right there, I was like, okay, this is it. It's gonna drop 310. I didn't really like it too much. I wasn't in it that much because just 310 was too far out of the money on Roku. So I did sell some at 60 cents. I did unload some of my position, so I did end up being red on the position overall, but I didn't lose much at all on it. then I ended up, as you can see, it did drop a little bit and it bounced and it just reversed on me. So then theta just destroyed it. So there was no chance that it was going to recover. Even though right in here, when it did drop quite a bit, it got close to, I think there was like 50 was on the ask, and I had it set at 51, just enough for me to call it a win, and it never filled. In fact, 50 never filled. It didn't get that high. It was close though. Then I had SPY. SPY I had at 1122. I had it right 1122 right in here. Now, as you can see, it curled, it popped over pre-market, well, no, opening range, I'll say right here, this 36.31. It popped up, then it came back down. I was looking at it right here. I thought about grabbing it. I was like, no, it's been choppy all week, it's been fake outs all week, and it popped up a little bit. Then I ended up grabbing it right here because you have like an inverted cup and handle. Actually, you could have a head and shoulders right here. You can get a left. Let me blow it up a little more so you can see it. You can get a little left shoulder here and head and the right shoulder. But when I was looking at it, I was looking at the cup and handle. I wasn't even looking at that. I was looking at this little arch and this little right here, and I was like, okay, if it breaks below this 364, 65 area, 50 area, that I was going to grab it. So I grabbed the 364 puts at 52 cents, and they went to $1.29, and a nice little 150% move right here. Then I ended up grabbing Roku again. This is why I never ever average down, especially on Fridays, because Friday, as you can see, blow it up. Even if I averaged down on Roku, I probably wouldn't. I probably could have gotten out, because at that point in time, I think Roku was like at 14, 15 cents. And if you average down at 15 cents from the initial entry of, what was it, 50, you would have probably had a nice average of probably 20, 25 cents. And you would have gotten maybe 40, 45 cents. I think that in this drop right here, I think some filled in the 40s. So you might have got 20 cents out of it, but I don't average down, especially on expiration days. Why average and add to a loser when you can get a closer strike is exactly what I did. I grabbed the 315 and not the 310s. I grabbed the 315 puts at 1214, which is right here. Now, as you can see right here at this point in time, this had a nice little descending triangle. Here's the flat line right here at 321. You just got a nice little line right here, making lower highs, going into a support. And I saw the picture perfect descending triangle, so I grabbed the 315 puts at 40 cents. And they went from 40 cents to $1.50, which is a 250% move right in there. I just couldn't believe it reversed right here so much. I mean, I kept looking at it. Like, okay, I was actually looking at it right here, thinking we're gonna have a VWAP rejection. We didn't, so I didn't want to buy it. I just couldn't believe it had this monster reversal. So, but it did. There was a textbook little descending triangle that played out really, really well. So that was a nice play. Then the last play of the day, which was my second loss of the day, was SPX. I grabbed the 36.35 puts on Friday at 227, which is rate 227, right here. Not quite sure why I grabbed them right there, but I think it was oh yeah, I grabbed them because, you know, it was finding resistance right in here in this 2660 area, and it wicked there, and it wicked there. So as soon as I got underneath this candle, I started to look at it, and I grabbed him the 36.35 puts at 80 cents, thinking, okay, it's rejecting here. We could probably see a nice push down to the 20 EMA, or at least the 36.50 area. And I was also thinking 36.35 was the lower day, so I mean, it's not that far out. We could see a nice little drop. I mean, once in a while we see an end of the day drop like right here. This is a massive candle, which was, let's see if we look, 36.90. I mean, that was a 10-point move. So I mean, 10 points from right here would have been a nice little move. So that would have been put it right in this area right here. Yeah, 10.45. That would that would have sent them like 200% right there if that move actually happened right there, because it was actually a good risk reward at that point in time, but it ended up being a loss. So yeah, I typed it, said I got it at 60 cents. I didn't. I got it at 80 cents. For some reason, I keep putting typos on Twitter. I gotta stop paying attention to that. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for the recaps. I hope this has helped in letting you know where I got in, why I get in, what I was thinking, where I was anticipating things to happen. I ended up having 5 losses. I mean, the week before, majority of my losses, I think I had like 5 losses. I'm not 100% sure how many losses, but I know that 90% of my losses last week was SPY, but this week was only 2 losses of it. I'm trying to be more conservative and be a little more patient with SPY in the opening range areas, because that's where I'm finding I'm getting faked out a lot and getting jerked around a lot when it comes to losses. So I'm trying to be more patient, and just didn't work out the way I was hoping this week. So next week is a new week, new opportunities, hopefully more volatile. So we'll see what happens. So thank you for watching, and see you next video. Thanks.